All right. Sounds like the recording just started. Hi, everyone. My name is David Jacoby with Hostfully. Thank you to Romaine and the BookingSync team. We're very excited about this new partnership that we have and looking forward to telling you a little bit about it. I will just do a little bit of level setting here and just some couple slides to tell you about Hostfully, and then I'll dive right into a live demo. So what is Hostfully? We are a platform for guest communications. Our focus really is on after the reservation is made, how can you help provide a 5-star hospitality experience to your guests? Some of you may be a little used to something like this. Many listings and vacation rentals I've seen has that mediocre looking, outdated 3-ring binder, and that fails in a number of ways. For starters, you can't send that in advance to your guests before they arrive. Maybe you turn it into a PDF and you email it to them, but it's hard for the guests to then, scroll on their mobile phone through that PDF. Additionally, while the guest is in the destination, it's not like they're taking this big binder and putting it in their backpack while they're out and about exploring your city. So at the end of the day, when they want to know where they should go have dinner, they need to go back to the listing to dig up that information. Plus, there's a lot of other benefits you can you can get out of having a digital guidebook instead of paper, for example, including links and including pictures and video, embedding video. Do you know how scary a laundry machine is, for example, if you're from another country and you're trying to figure out how to work those dials? So we do have a hard copy version as well that I'll talk about, but by making a digital guidebook, you can easily share important information about their whole stay. So ranging from pre-arrival information, such as directions and how to get there, how to check in, as well as house essentials, how to turn the TV on, how to use the laundry, what the Wi-Fi code is, of course. And then an easy way to share all your favorite local recommendations, your favorite coffee shop, your favorite hike, make it so that they'll have a great experience and you'll get a 5-star review. Our guidebooks are a simple custom link, so it's a responsive design web application. This is not a mobile app that you're forcing your guests to download and install on their phone for the 3 days that they're on vacation, but rather it looks beautiful on any device. And we do see a lot of people viewing this on their desktop as well. And that makes sense because they're getting that welcome email before their trip and they're at work or at home on their computer and they want to bring it up and look at that information. We also support multiple properties, so I'll show you our back-end admin, but we're a platform built specifically for the vacation rental manager like you who's managing multiple listings. So we have lots of shortcuts that you'll see that makes it easy to, for example, add a recommendation to 50 guidebooks at once, or private labeling, of course, so it's enhancing your brand. So simply put, we save you time and we'll make you more money. How? By having an upgraded hospitality experience that you're providing your guests that, as I said, will lead to more 5-star reviews. You'll spend less time on guest communications because all the answers are in an easy to find place. And not only will you spend less time on guest communications, but you will have higher quality guest communications. What do I mean by that? Oftentimes, as a property manager myself, I'll get a question about some restaurant to go to, and I'll start explaining to everyone, I'll start explaining to my guests where that place is, and I kind of get this deer in headlights look where they are a little nervous about how to get there. They don't have that information. So now I can tell them, don't worry, all the information is in the guidebook. So in 2 days from now, when you want to go to that restaurant, when you want to go on that hike, you can refer to it later. As I mentioned earlier, we also have a print version. So this is one place to manage your digital and your print guidebook. You can also private label it, so it enhances your brand awareness. People aren't thinking that they booked an Airbnb or they booked a home away. They're thinking they booked your vacation rental business, a place from you. And then finally, this is a single source of information, not just for your guests, but for your staff as well. So if you get a customer service question and they're asking about how to turn the TV on or how to use the laundry, you can go into Hostfully and look up that information very easily to answer that guest question. One client of ours in Australia, they said, it occurred to me how quick my workflow is now and how critical Hostfully has become to the operation of our business. and another client in South Africa. We did a trial comparing 3 options and selected Hostfully, even though we know it will be more expensive. This is our team. You'll speak to some of us. I'm the president and co-founder. Margot's our CEO. Nicole is our head of strategic partnerships. She helps with our onboarding. And we have over 100 clients from all over the world, and excited to be working with BookingSync clients. All right. So let me dive into a demo now. All right. First, I'll show the BookingSync integration. So here on apps, click on Hostfully, and then this will pop up. This shows BookingSync import. So this shows the properties that you have in BookingSync, and now you can import them into Hostfully to start making guidebooks out of them. So I'll pick this one, fetching rental details, and here we go. It gets the name, it brings in a picture, and it brings in some other pertinent information, where it is on the map. It'll have some other details that you might have in BookingSync already, like the check-in time and the checkout time, and then you'll start adding other information. And you can save that. And now if I go to Guidebooks, you can see here it is under Guidebooks. So now I'm going to switch over to a fully developed demo account just to show you some more details. And let me show you the guest side first so you can see how beautiful a service you're providing to your guests. And then I'll go back to the back-end admin and show you how to make it. So here's all the information that your guests will see. A picture of the front of the home, all the contact information, and a nice welcome message, and all the arrival information. This is all here right away. So the check-in time, how to gain access. These boxes pop up, and you can include pictures of the front of the home or the lockbox code. You can even embed video if you want. There's general directions information and general parking information. So click that and it opens up. And then you can have specific recommended approaches. So getting here by taxi or Uber or train or bus. I'll show you on the back end how you can build these out. If you just want to have general directions, that's fine as well. Now the house manual area. So house rules, how to turn the TV on, how to use the laundry, whatever you want to include here. This is all customizable. There's a few ways of making these cards. We call these cards, so the house rules card and the television card. One is having icon cards like you see these top ones. Or you can have picture cards, and then you can also embed a video. Now, no matter what you do for the front of the card, whether it's icons, pictures, or video, whenever you open a card, you can see, you can include pictures and videos and lots of rich text formatting here as well. So there's lots of flexibility on how you want to make this section appear. So they've arrived, they're in the house, and now the departure section. Anything you want to put about departure, when the checkout time is, any custom information you want to include. And then we have a long laundry list of items, which I'll show you on the back end on about checkout, what to do with the bedding, with the towels, with the keys, stuff like that. And now moving on to the fun stuff. So all the favorite recommendations. So food, activities, bars, attractions, shopping. We get a lot of feedback that our recommendation section is beautiful and it's very engaging. We get feedback that it looks like a Pinterest board, for example. And we worked hard at having lots of nice pictures and the quick reviews here. You can have more detailed reviews inside the recommendation, which I'll show you. A lot of other recommendations, oftentimes there's a map with just some numbers on it, and you click on the number and it's got some information and that's it. But guests who use Hostfully really love looking through all the options that the host has made for them. There's a few ways of making recommendations. One is something straightforward like a restaurant or a clothing store. So if I click on Sushi Bistro here, it will show where it is in relation to the house. It will have a link to the website, a link to Google Maps, of course, the picture, and a little review. So that's fairly straightforward. There's a bunch of other things you can do with it, though. So the Presidio, for example, this is a park near my home. This is my guidebook. This is a park near my home where Golden Gate Bridge comes into San Francisco. Sometimes people will ask me, hey, I have an extra day in San Francisco. What should I do? And I'll tell them to go to the Presidio and show them this recommendation. And instead of just recommending a business, I'm giving a whole curated adventure. So I'm telling them where to go. I'm uploading pictures of the hike they should take and additional pictures with captions of what they'll see along the way. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with that kind of deer in headlights look. Before I had this guidebook, guests would get really nervous about how to get there. I'm explaining to them how beautiful it is, and they can't really get it, and they don't know where to go. And now I tell them, don't worry, all the details are in the guidebook. So when you want to go, it's very easy to refer to, and they get real excited looking at the pictures that it's going to be a great hike, and they know where to go, so they're not nervous about how to get there. Additionally, each page within the guidebook has its own unique URL. So you can follow up and send a text or an email to the guest that opens up to this specific recommendation. And everything is like this. So departure, for example, if you want to send an automated email one day before they leave and include the link to the departure section, we have lots of clients that do that. So it opens up straight here. So that's high level from the guest perspective. I'll quickly show you the mobile view as well. Again, we built it with mobile first in mind. So it kind of looks and feels like an app, but the guest isn't downloading anything. So everything I just showed you looks great on mobile. The picture of the front of the home, the contact information, the welcome message. We have the sections across the top here: arrival, house manual, departure, and also on the navigation on the side: arrival, house manual, departure. So it's real easy to navigate and get anywhere you want. So the house rules, house manual, that opens up nicely. The arrival sections, if I click on directions like I showed you earlier, that pops up. And then the recommendations, all that stuff looks great on the phone. We also have a map view down here, and it shows all the recommendations on the map. You can filter by category. So first you can have just our place, and it shows where the home is. That's in red. And then you can add in other categories too, like restaurants and food are all yellow, and it still shows our home, or shopping. And then if you click on any of those items, it will take you to that recommendation. All right, so that is an overview on the guest side. Let me show you a couple highlights on the admin side. So here's the back end, and I had showed you before the guidebooks where there was just one. So here's an example where there's a lot of guidebooks. So we have 525 2nd Avenue, 535 2nd Avenue, 537 2nd Avenue. And then we have what we call cards. So the directions cards, the parking cards, the check-in cards. And multiple cards make up a deck or a guidebook. So you take directions and parking and check-in and Wi-Fi, some house manual information items, some recommendations, and there you go, you have a guidebook. But also we've structured this in a way where one card can be put into multiple guidebooks. So I'm in the check-in section here, and we see 531 2nd Avenue, 535 2nd Avenue, and then master check-in. So if you have 100 properties and 80 of them are the same with check-in details, all you need to do is make this card once and add it to all 80 guidebooks. So here in the check-in card, you put in what the check-in time is. And then we have some other statements about early check-in, for example. So we're happy to arrange alternative check-in times, or you can store your bags in the listing all day. And we do our best to include best practices of what to think about when making a guidebook, while also giving plenty of room for custom information, because we know you all have your own unique information you want to share. So here's where you put the custom text. So that's about early check-in. Here we have some information about how they'll gain access. There's a lockbox containing your house key, or we'll email you the access codes, or we have keyless entry. And then again, custom text box. So now here is what I was saying earlier about this is all the guidebooks that I showed earlier. And here you can add this check-in card to any of the guidebooks. So you can select all, you can unselect all, you can filter as well. So I'm going to filter for just the New York guidebooks, and I'll put in NY for New York and then select all the New York guidebooks. So you make it pretty easy to manage on the back end. In the future, if you want to make a change, the check-in time is 3 o'clock. You just come into this card, make that change, and it automatically updates all the guidebooks that it's related to. So that's check-in. I'll go to directions here, 525 2nd Avenue directions. Here we have the general directions section, and then the recommended approaches, so taxi or bus or driving. You can see when I click off taxi, it disappears here, and now it just has the Uber box, but when I check taxi, it appears. So that goes back to what I was showing earlier on the check-in. We have the general directions, and then taxi, Uber, Lyft, train. That's all these boxes from the airport. And then again, you pick which guidebooks you want to add it to. And I'll just show you one more card. Let's go to checkouts. That had that laundry list that I showed you. So again, when the checkout time is, select your policy about late checkout. We have a few boxes, and then what else should they do? So leave the used beds unmade, take out the trash, leave the used towels on the floor, whatever you want to add, as well as custom information. And then again, you pick which guidebooks you want to add it to. All right, so I won't go through all the cards. I think you get that idea. Let me just show you a couple things on guidebooks. So 4 easy steps to make a guidebook. I'll go into 525 2nd Avenue. So number 1 is you enter in the address, and that actually will get pulled from BookingSync, so you don't even need to do that. In case something's a little funny with Google Maps, sometimes that happens, you can actually click and drag and move the pin drop to where you want. You'll also upload a picture of the front of the home, and again, this usually gets pulled in from BookingSync if you have it in there. And then you assign the cards. So the check-in card, I'm going to pick which one I want. There's the master check-in card that I was showing you, the directions card, the parking card. If you want to add a new card, you can do it straight from here by clicking on the plus sign. Or if you want to edit the existing card, just click on the pencil, and that'll take you to the card we were looking at before, master check-in. So we make it real easy to navigate. You can either do it on the left, on the menu here, or within the guidebook itself. Now you're only going to have one check-in card, one directions card, one parking card, one departure card per guidebook. But for the house manual, you're going to have many. You know, how to turn the TV on, how to use the laundry, what the house rules are. So instead of just picking one, you go to select edit, and here's the whole option of cards, and you pick which ones you want to add by just checking on the box. You can also filter too. So I'm going to search for laundry. And the house manual cards have a guest-facing name and then a back-end name. So the guest is always going to see laundry, laundry, laundry. But you know that this is laundry for Tim's home, this is laundry for Lee's home, laundry for test 456. So we're going to choose the laundry for Tim's home. That's going to be in this guidebook. Then we go to sort, and we can move around the order of the cards pretty easily. And then same concept applies for the recommendations. You select which recommendations you want to add. And let me show you how easy it is to make a recommendation. Again, I can do it from recommendations here on the side, or I can do create card. Do that, and I'll just do one pizzeria near my home. I'll start putting that in, Giorgio's. And just by typing it in, the address comes up, the name of the card comes up, and take a look at this. A whole bunch of beautiful pictures come up. So as engaging as we make it for the guest when they're viewing the guidebook, we make it just as easy to make beautiful recommendations on the back end. All I did was type the name in, and all this information comes up. The URL comes up, and the category as well, restaurants and food. Now, 19 out of 20 times, these pictures are going to be great, but if you want to add your own image, you can do that easily as well. Just pick it from your computer or from your mobile device if you're at the restaurant and want to just take a picture and throw it up right away. Facebook, Instagram, we can even do a web search too and do something generic. So I'll do pizza, for example, and a bunch of options will come in, and you can just choose one of those. And then finally, you just write here, you know, a short review, wonderful pizza. And then here's where you can write the longer review that I was talking about earlier that I showed with the Presidio. And you can do a lot of stuff with this. You can bold it, you can italicize it, underline it, you can add links, you can add pictures, all sorts of rich text formatting. And then again, we choose which guidebooks we want to add it to. So 525 2nd Avenue and 535 2nd Avenue. I'll save the card. It will take me back to the guidebook. And just to finish this demo, step 4 are some custom settings. So we're going to choose the URL. So it can be, you know, 555 Main Street in San Francisco, or whatever you want this to be. So Zen Apartment, the address, the name of the place. Then you choose the host introduction. So if you have multiple regions and you want different contact information, the host introduction, that was this section right here where you have the contact information and the welcome message. So you get to choose which one of those you want. And then the test private label theme I have here, this is the private labeling, your logo, you get to add that. So I'm going to save the deck. And now I'm going to go into a new window. Now this is all you're going to send your guests. So you would include this in your email templates, hostful.ly / the custom URL that you just put in. And now the private label logo comes up. So this is your logo here. And then if I go to places to eat, here's Giorgio's Pizzeria that I added. And that, yeah, there you go. So that's the highlights. Oh, one thing I forgot to show earlier, as I said, we do have the print version, so you can print this out in advance and put it in the listing. The guests can also print it out, and everything is formatted nicely for print. It's got your logo, a picture of the front of the home, where it is on the map, the contact information, the welcome message. We're making a bunch of changes to this as well, where you're going to have some more customization. You can change some stuff on the front. And then all the information that I showed you, getting here, and all the house manual information, and then all the recommendations as well. All right, so that's the high-level overview. A few other tips and tricks I could show, but I think you get the main important features. And if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to contact me. My email is david@hostfully.com. And Romain, I think that's all for now. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, David. I will send you the link on the chat for the video if you want to integrate your guidebook in BookingSync. We have a manual page, and you can send automatically the guidebook take-in notification. And so I send you the link, and if someone has any question to David or me.
Flo, je crois que c'est un français par contre.
I see there was one question that was asked earlier. We manage 40 properties. Is it possible to have a part of the guide that is shared for all the properties and a part for each property? So I think this was asked before I dived into the demo, and hopefully, as you saw from the demo, absolutely yes. You can make it easy to have a check-in section or a checkout section and apply it to all the guidebooks at once. So we built it specifically for the vacation rental manager who has multiple properties, and we want to make it as easy as possible on the back end for you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Romain, I guess if there's no other questions, I want to thank you and the BookingSync team. We're really looking forward to working together, and I guess we'll call it a day.
Sorry, David. That's Siri. I just sent you a question. I just wanted to know how the customer get the guide. They are, for example, an Airbnb customer. On BookingSync, we will just have the Airbnb email address. So how the guest will receive the link to the website?
Very easily. So all you do is email them hostful.ly / the link. What maybe where the confusion is, before a reservation is made, Airbnb will block any links because they're afraid you're going to take them offline and make the booking outside of Airbnb. But after a reservation is made, they don't filter the link. So you can send the link right within the Airbnb messaging if you want, if you don't have their email. Of course, if you email it to them, you can include it. But Airbnb doesn't block it if you're communicating within their messaging.
Yes, but my aim is to get the personal email address. Do you know to send them mails after that? So can we manage to pick up? How can you manage that for us? Or
Sure.
ask them like to the private personal mail after sending these links through Airbnb or?
Yeah, so really, however you currently communicate with your guest is how you will continue to communicate with them by using Hostfully. So we don't change that. So now, instead of emailing them tons of information in the email itself, all you need to do is email them the URL. And the URL will open up. They don't need to log in or anything. You just send them this URL, and up will come the guidebook. So if you're communicating through Airbnb, continue to communicate through Airbnb. If you email them, continue to email them. If you text them, continue to text them, however you currently communicate with your guests.
Okay, thank you.
And just additional answer to this question. On the chat of the video, I just sent an email, and on the manual page of Hostfully on BookingSync, you have the explanation on how to integrate automatically the Hostfully guidebook in BookingSync notification. So if you create one guidebook for each rental you manage on BookingSync, you can then send automatically the guidebook URL to the guest.
Okay.
So, and like David said, if you also can share the guidebook and send to the guest by email, and once booking is confirmed on Booking or Airbnb, sorry, you can send the link. It's okay, because when you send an email to a Airbnb guest, the Airbnb email for this stay or for this guest, it will be followed to the true email of the guest. So there is no problem for that.
And on that note too, I forgot to mention, so one guidebook is free, so we encourage everyone to kick the tires and test it out and get the integration up and running. And then if you want some additional features on that one guidebook, like the custom URL and multiple languages, I forgot to mention that we're available in French and Spanish and Portuguese as well as English. Then you can upgrade to our PowerHost product, and that's only $7.99 a month. And then if you have up to 5 guidebooks, we have our Prime product, which is $19.99. And if you have more than 5 guidebooks, then contact us for our Enterprise product.
Okay.
Do we have any other question?
No.
Yeah, I've got one. This is Gary at JLets. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What are the support hours? Are you guys in the US, are you?
We are. We actually have a team in Australia as well, and we are pretty accessible. So if there's any questions that you have, you can email us, and we always get back to you in one business day. If you want to do a demo or have some deeper questions, then we can arrange for a phone call as well. But we do respond to all customer service emails within one business day.
Yeah, it does take about a day. I've noticed that. But no, we've signed up for it, and I love the product. I think it's excellent. It's the best one I've seen so far. So we'll definitely be using it. And how we're communicating the URLs is via SMS. So what we didn't want to happen is we get a lot of repeat customers, and we don't want a repeat customer to keep getting the same guidebook. So SMS is going to be the best solution, I think, for us.
Yeah, that sounds great, and thank you for the feedback. Appreciate that.
No problem. Yeah, so we'll look forward to working with you anyway.
Okay.
Yes, I have another question. Maybe you answered already. Is it the translation is automatic in different language? If we type it in French, it will be translated already in English, or we have to type it in French and in English and in Spanish, etc.
Yeah, so good question. So what we have that is translated, if I go to a card, so here I'm in the check-in card and we pick French and Spanish And then the tabs you see will pop up here for French and Spanish. So all the stuff that we have already written that you can't change. So these checkboxes, that is translated. And all the stuff up here, for example, like house manual and departure and food, all of that is translated. So anything that you are going to custom write, then you need to do the translation for that.
Okay.
And how do you, before sending the address to the customer, you have to check is the customer who changes the language of this website, or you can send it through to the right languages that as BookingSync, as on BookingSync, you know already their language.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood that question. Can you...
the link that the customer will receive, they will receive the links when they will be on the main pages of your website. They will be in English automatically, and they will have to select the French menu. Or?
Right. Yes, there's a way that they pick which language that they want, so they can change that.
Okay, but they
Okay,
will.
So it's French. It's in English by default, or
it is in English by default. We're working on a way for you to send it in another language by default, so we'll have that coming soon.
Okay. Do we have any other question?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, David. And don't hesitate if you want to try. Yeah.
Is there a special price for BookingSync user, or is it the same price for all?
Right now, it's the same price and a lot easier to manage because of the integration. So it'll make your life a whole lot easier.
Okay. I tried. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And if you have any question, you can contact us, and you can try Hostfully also.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.